Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Sherry. I'm the Moonlight Crafter. In this video, we're going to play with the Ornate Garden Suite that comes out April 1st. Okay, so for this particular card, I decided to make the fold go this direction instead of my normal way. It just seems very elegant to me, and this is a very elegant card. So we're going to start with our Whisper White card base, and then a piece of mint macaron, or however you decide that you're going to say mint macaron. And the Ornate Garden Suite has two bundles in it. It has the Ornate Style bundle, which has all the flowers, and it has all the dies with all the flower borders. And then it also has another bundle in it called Ornate Thanks. And that one has the words and the script, and then it has all the frames, the florally, frilly, really pretty frames. And so together, both bundles is the suite. So we're going to use a little bit of both of the frames. And a lot of people will ask me this. I will link below where I got this big magnet, and this is how I keep my dies on here. When I get it brand new, I'll take off the sticky and attach this magnet that has like an adhesive on the back. Anyway, I'll link all that below so you guys can find this for your dies. It's really nice. But we're going to use this one here, and when you run that through your Big Shot, you will end up with this gorgeous piece. Now I will give you a tip about this. When you run this through your Big Shot, it is a very detailed die, and if you run it through well enough, all the pieces will fall right out super easy. But if you don't have the shim is not, it's not thick enough, your sandwich isn't correct, then you are going to be frustrated. But like I said, if you get the shim correct and you get the right thickness, these will seriously just fall out really easily. So just make sure that you run it through several times. I'm not one that normally will run the Big Shot over and over and over again. I feel like it's wear and tear on my machine. But for this particular die, I will run it through twice. I will even turn the plate, flip it in one more time the opposite direction. I'll show you what I mean. So you have your Big Shot, and you're going to run it through once, and you're going to run it through twice, and then I take it out and I flip the whole plate over, and I'll run it through once and twice again. And just because sometimes your Big Shot might be warped on one side, might be a little bent on one side or the other, and that's given me the best results when it comes to running these dies through. And again, once I started doing that, I had no problems getting these beautiful detailed frame to come out. So I hope that tip helps you. So we use the frame, we got this guy here, and then we're going to take a piece of the DSP. This is a mint macaron piece with some gold foiling, and it is gorgeous, and it just matches perfectly. Then we're going to take the next one smaller, the next frame smaller through the Big Shot, which will give you this piece here. And it's already rounded on the inside, which is perfect. And then we're going to use one more. We are going to use the smallest one here. And that will give you this piece here. Now originally it started out like this. It was just a rectangle. And then I used my detailed trio punch, and one of the sides that it punches actually is a corner rounder. And so I used that to get this to be rounded, which you won't see because I've already punched them. But that's perfect for what I needed there. So those are the three we're going to use. And then I was so happy to discover that one of our other products aligns with these dies. If you have these, rectangle stitched framelit dies. They match perfectly with our ornate layers dies. Check this out. I believe it's the third one. Fits perfectly in here. So exciting. And then I believe it's maybe the smallest one or the second, yeah, the smallest one will fit right in there. Doesn't that just make your life so much easier? Yay, I was so happy. Thank you, Stampin' Up. Mwah, that's for Stampin' Up. You guys are so awesome. So there you go. You got to make sure that you also have your rectangle stitched framelit dies when you play with this set, and it will make your life easier. Okay, so we have some of our pieces already cut now. We are ready to go. We're just going to adhere this all together. We're going to do some heat embossing. I did the actual little daisy flower in gold so that it matches the gold on the foiling on the back of the DSP. It's going to be super pretty. Oh, and we're going to throw everything in this from the suite. We're also going to use the Ornate Floral 3D embossing folder. And it's got these little tiny repetitive flower floral pattern. And you can do it one of two ways. If you run this through and you ink this up on the side that has all the texture, ink this up. And if you run that through your Big Shot, you will get this piece. And it's very neat looking because yes, it's actually debossed now is the way that it looks, but it looks like, you know, the dark and the light with the flowers. So you can either do it that way or you can just do it like normal. And if you run that one through like normal, it's really cute too. And that's what I did on the original card, is I just ran that through the embossing folder. So, but we're going to do it with this one just so we can compare the two and see which one we like better. All right, let's put this guy together. Make sure your card's going the right way. That does happen from time to time. Okay. And then I want to take this large frame piece and almost nestle it in the top left-hand corner. I'm not centering it. I want it in the top left-hand corner. And I'm not worrying about putting adhesive way out on the edge where all of this pretty is. You could use our fine point glue, but I feel like it almost gives it more of a 3D look anyway because it is kind of floating. You know, it's not adhered all the way down, and it actually looks better, I think. So I don't even worry about getting glue everywhere and trying to adhere that guy down. I just do it here in the middle. We're going to take our DSP. Oh, it's pretty on the back too. And that one goes inside. And if you used your rectangle stitched, they would have a cute little stitching, which I didn't realize that when I first did this. And then I am going to overlap this guy. There's actually a hole right here, and I'm going to line this up with these holes here. But actually, let's go ahead and do our flower on that before we put that guy down. And the flower is from Ornate Style. We're going to do that in Versamark so that we can do our heat embossing. It's invisible. Like I said, I want to use gold embossing powder. I always use a tea filter. And you know what? I did not use my embossing buddy first, and look what it did. Have to use your embossing buddy. That thing is only like $6 and it makes a huge difference. Look at that. I will try it again. I don't think I have it with me right now, but let's see if I can get a better impression. Oh, such a sad flower. It's a crying, dying flower. Lessons you learn. Let's see how we do this time. It's better. Still be better with your embossing buddy. Make sure you put that on your list if you don't already have one. But yeah, that came out a little bit better. Okay, when you use your heat embossing gun, make sure that you are not pointing it at yourself. It is extremely hot, and don't melt more than you need to. It just barely takes a moment. It will be loud for just a second here. So beautiful, simple and beautiful. And then we're going to heat emboss the sentiment as well, thanks. I did in black and white, but I didn't like the way that it looked. It looks okay, but I really thought the gold just matched everything. So I went ahead and I did some of those ahead for us. And I'm gonna cut those out by hand. And then I do wanna color my flower with our Stampin' Blend markers. So I've just got light mint macaron, and then I have light and dark daffodil delight for the center. And so what I did here is I just want one layer of this mint everywhere around my petals. And then on my leaf, one layer. But the cool thing about the Stampin' Blends is once you let it evaporate and you go back and you do another layer, it's going to build intensity of color. So I can actually get a light and a dark with this one marker. So I'm going to go on 1/2 of the leaf, and I'm going to go again. Right there I've already got 2 different colors just from one marker. And then I'm going to go on the inside of these petals and just give them some definition. I'm going to let that dry for just a second, and then I'm going to do it one more time to get some intensity. I'm going just around the outside edge now of the leaf, so I'm almost getting 3 different shades in this one marker. And then same thing with some of the petals. I'm going to get darker on some areas. Not everywhere, I just want a couple of these petals to be darker. And then I'm taking the light Daffodil Delight, and there's just not tons of room here in the middle, but I'm going to do the whole thing in yellow. And then I'm going to take the dark and just do 1/2 of this center here. I want half of it, the bottom half. to be darker. There you go. Now we can go ahead and adhere this to our card base. Now I do want to line that up with my next piece because this is where my sentiment's going to go, and I want my flower to show, so I'm using this as a guide, and I decide that I want to put my flower up a little bit higher, and there those dots are going to line up for me. That's about where I want it. So then I've ended up cutting 2 of these rectangles so that I can put one back behind, and we'll use this detailed trio punch again to get this corner rounded. This is a punch that you can't live without. You need it for everyday things and fancier things. Detailed trio punch. Okay, so now this is the background for my piece here. And I can just go right over the top of this decorative area and it's gonna be okay. It's just gonna stick this other piece to it. My sentiment's gonna go on the top anyway, so it's not gonna matter that there's any glue showing. Okay. Again, I've lined up where I want my flower. About there. Okay, that's where I want my little flower. And then I want to pop dot up my thanks. And I'm just going to do this one by hand. Keeping it rounded edges to go with my other rounded edges. And I'll pop that guy up. This really is a super simple card, but it just turns out so gorgeous, so elegant. This is a set I can see myself using over and over and over, whether it's sympathy cards or wedding cards or birthday cards or scrapbook pages. I know, I said a bad word, scrapbook pages. Now, for some of you, that's religion, isn't it? And there we go. We're just gonna finish it off with a sentiment. And then I did tie a bow with our mint macaron ribbon. Just happens to match perfectly. I'm gonna put it right on my flower stem. There we go. Ta-da! And there you have that. The last thing that I did that I think makes a huge difference, and it's just a small detail that makes all the difference in the world, is, you guys know I love this stuff, the shimmery crystal effects. I use this just on the center of the daisy. And I use a good amount, and I let it bubble up. And then I'm gonna let it, dry for quite a while. When you do this, it's gonna give you this almost glass looking bubble on top of your flower, your daisy center. And when you do that, it ends up drying and it looks almost like a crystal embellishment that you've put in the daisy center. So I think it just adds some more elegance to an already elegant card. And that's it. Super simple. You guys really need this set. This Ornate Garden Suite is just beautiful. So what do you think? Do you like the one with the ink on the background, on the embossing, or the one without? Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I hope that you'll add the Ornate Garden Suite to your wish list. Like, comment, share. I appreciate all of your support for my channel. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.